Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today for our PALLMANN webinar series. Today, we are going to be talking a little bit about our machine lineup. My name is Josh Newberger. I'm the marketing director at Oots North America, and I'm joined today by Kelsey Quigg, our product and technical manager for PALLMANN. Today, we really appreciate you taking the time. We appreciate everything. We know that this is a very unique situation and that we're in. However, we have continued to grow our machine line in regards to our PALLMANN lineup. And so today, we would just want to take an opportunity to go through the lineup a little bit. And one thing that is always very helpful is that our territory managers, your local PALLMANN territory managers, have all this equipment on the PALLMANN van and are available to come out and work with you on job sites. So with that, Kelsey, I'm going to make you the presenter, and I know you have a wonderful PowerPoint. And again, thank you for joining us. And a little bit of a housekeeping note: if you have a question or anything throughout the webinar, please just use the question box off to the right-hand side. Type them in there, and then we'll answer all questions at the end. And again, we really do appreciate you joining us today for this webinar.
Well, thank you, Josh. Can you hear me and can you see my screen?
We're all good here, Kelsey.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Sorry, we've had a couple technical difficulties. That's why we're getting started a few minutes late, but I want to appreciate everyone joining this morning. And like Josh said, please send your questions in while we're going through this whole webinar. But today we're going to talk about our PALLMANN machine webinar. Okay, so we're going to go through all of our PALLMANN machines. Real quick, my name's Kelsey Quigg. I've got 25 years in the hardwood floor business, where I started off as a contractor, working for a company for many years, and then had my own business for also quite a few years. But now I've been with PALLMANN for over 11, and actually I probably need to update this. I'm getting close to 12 years. I started off as just a field technician, traveling the country, working with contractors, showing our products. And for the last several years, I am the product and technical manager of the PALLMANN division. So we like to, well, first, this kind of a slide here to show all of our machines that we're going to talk about today. We truly do have a dedication to quality with everything that we produce, sealers, finishes, but obviously the focus today is the machines. But with PALLMANN, we use the latest technology available for machine product development. We produce powerful, reliable, and quality products. We are consistently working on ergonomic and efficiency products. It's an ergonomic and efficiency aspect of our sanding equipment to provide the wood flooring professional, you guys, the best opportunity to perform at the highest level. We truly believe that we succeed only if you succeed. And we develop and improve all of our products, our sanding equipment and finishes alike, with the same goal in mind. We want to be the best. Okay, so we know that the easier that you guys are able to perform your jobs, the better for all of us together. So real quick on a little history here. With our corporate name is Oots North America. We are part of the Oots brand, that we are a global supplier of flooring installation materials. So we only manufacture products in the flooring world. We are publicly traded on the German stock exchange, and we have our fourth generation ownership involved. So we are a family-owned company. And worldwide, we do have 7 brands within the Oots group. But here in the Oots North America, we focus just on 3, and that is Oots, which does manufacture all of our under the flooring products. So self-leveler, primers, moisture mitigation, patch, adhesives. And then we have our Wolf brand, which manufactures all of our machines. They really specialize in the floor covering removal machines. I don't know if anyone has heard of the Wolf Turbo Stripper. It's a very popular machine out there. But they also manufacture great products in our PALLMANN sanding family, which we're going to discuss today. And then, of course, our third brand, which I think you're all familiar with, is PALLMANN, and that is our hardwood division. and we focus on all products within the hardwood realm. So your primers, your adhesives, moisture mitigation, self-leveling compound, and then of course on top of the wood with sealers, finishes, and the cleaning products to maintain them. With that said, we also have the machines, which we're going to talk about here today. So a little history with PALLMANN. We were established in 1900, so we've been around for many years, obviously. And we are a global supplier of the hardwood flooring installation products, like I mentioned there before, with everything from ground up. Our main focus, I think a lot of you probably know, is that it's our waterborne technology. We have the most innovative products out there for sealers and finishes. But we also do in machines, which you're going to learn about a little bit today also. And our main manufacturing plant is located in Würzburg, Germany, where everything's manufactured and then sent here to our Utsi Newts North America headquarters in Aurora, Colorado. And then we send it out to our distributors around the nation. And then obviously our contractors, you guys get it from your local distribution network. So the first product we're going to talk about here, first machine, is our PALLMANN Gecko Star 2.0. Now you might have seen this sales sheet, this poster, adjust with speed. And I'm going to get to the specifics here that you can understand exactly what I'm talking about. But first, just a little bit of some of the key factors of this machine. So you can see on the little arrows there, we have adjustable operating handles. So it kind of depends on your height or where you like to grab the machine. You can adjust them to fit your style. We have two very bright LED lights on both sides of the machine, so really gives you a nice focal point on your cutting surface. And then the extended sanding nose. What's nice about this is you're able to get under toe kicks for cabinets or other tight little areas like that. And you're going to see right there on the handle, the number 4, removable control knob. So you can unscrew that. That way you get underneath the toe kicks. But then you can screw that back in, which is another handle for your hand, which is fantastic for closets, pantries, stairs, very tight areas that just gives you another area to really move the machine and to be nice consistent with your cutting pattern. And then our fingertip wheel adjustment, which I'm going to talk about in some later slides about how you can adjust the wheel's height, which will basically change the cutting edge and the cutting surface and the aggressiveness. And then on the back there, I know it's difficult to see, is our dust tube, which it does come with a bag if you want to sand with the edger bag on top, or if you want to attach your hose for your vacuum. So we give you the option of either system that you guys would like to do. Some features and benefits here. It's a very fast and high-powered 2.4 horsepower motor with a 4,200 RPM disc speed. And the benefit of that is you get aggressive sanding action. Okay, it has the extended sanding arm, which we discussed, great for sanding toe kicks or other tight areas. It only weighs 24 pounds, so it's lightweight and nicely balanced. Okay, a very light, powerful machine. It has non-marking urethane wheels, so you're not damage your sanding surface. You're not going to be putting black marks or digging in sanding lines, behind the machine that you're actually sanding the surface on. Two built-in super bright LED lights, which it does increase the job site visibility. We understand that a lot of times, especially new construction, right, we're in there sanding without any lights, or the electricians haven't got in there to install lights. It does have a very low decibel rating, so it is quieter on the job site operation. It doesn't do much damage to your ears, which will wear you out. A very loud machine does wear you out mentally, no doubt about that. And then our wheel adjustment dial for fast, accurate, and machine angle setting. And that adjusts your sanding pressure and angle. And you can just do it with a touch of a finger, okay? And then it does have a superior dust pickup, so cleaner for the job site performance. We know there's some machines out there that really spray a lot of dust outside of the disc, but this has a very unique design where the dust collection is definitely above and beyond. So the innovation here, and what I mentioned earlier about the this wheel adjustment, I mean, it truly is a special and much needed addition to edge sanding. Okay, so what we do is we take the guesswork and the tedious adjusting out of the equation. It's easy, fast, exact, and you can do it within mere seconds. And for multiple users of the same edger, each person needs only to remember his or her dial number. And it truly is that simple. And I think you guys can understand with one of our competitors' machines out there, I mean, you have to use pliers and to adjust the height. And that can be very difficult. It can take a lot of time. And it's just, sometimes you just can't get it in the perfect spot. And you're wasting time on the job site. But one person I know likes the left wheel, let's say, a little bit higher than the right wheel. And then maybe your helper or your co-worker, they like the adjustment pretty even. They like the left wheel and the right wheel to be the same height. Well, that takes a very long time with other machines. With this one, it is truly seconds, and you can customize every position that you like and enjoy, and you can switch users very quickly, very easily. So a quick recap about the machine here, about the Gecko Star 2.0, where we focus on the innovation, the design, and the quality. So it has power, speed, and balance, and this really sets the edger apart from the competition. It does have a 2.4 horsepower motor, 4,200 RPM disc speed, and superior dust pickup, which definitely separates us from the others. And we have a Velcro covered drive disc. Now you also may be able to use the bolt-on paper. We give you the option of whatever you prefer, and it comes with the one-touch wheel adjustment. Oh, I apologize here. I'm having, there we go, sorry. Next machine we're gonna discuss here is our PALLMANN Spider. It definitely is a revolution in floor sanding. This is the newest machine that we have brought on into the market. You might have seen this poster out there with our sales sheets that we've hopefully emailed you. Now the Spider, it's an evolution in the planetary sanding field. We are providing all the advantages of traditional horizontal sanding, but what it provides is a reduction of edging, an overall flatness to the hardwood floor, and an improved scratch pattern, and adding the increased power necessary to sand a floor start to finish. So a couple technical data details. It is a 230 volt. I know a lot of us out there say 220. Okay, so you do want to plug into a dryer plug or a stove plug. So you want to make sure you have 220 or 230 volt, whatever you guys are comfortable with saying. I hear it all. It is a 2.7 horsepower machine, so very powerful. The frequency is only 60 hertz, so very low. And the rotation speed of the plate, the RPMs, it's a variable knob that we can control all the way from 85 RPMs, which I think you know is reps per minute, the rotations per minute, and we can get that all the way up to 400. So variable speed gives you the option of what you maybe what sanding disc you're using or what grit you're using, and we'll talk a little bit about that later, but gives you the options. It's a 16-inch wide machine, so that's the width of the cutting. And the sanding width from the wall, we can get up to 1 inch from the wall. That is a huge difference from your traditional belt sanders, so that will greatly reduce your edging. The machine itself only weighs 88 pounds. So a very light machine, and we have nice handles throughout the machine to be able to load and unload from your truck or van with ease. We have an additional weight that comes with the machine, which is 33 pounds. And it just sits right on the cutting edge, so it gives you that extra aggressive cutting. And then the triple disc itself, the sanding disc, the plate, that weighs about 42 pounds. So that gives you that extra aggressiveness to the machine, but they break down, so very easy to load and unload like I said, with your truck or van, or maybe going up and down stairs, or areas in the house, you know, when you got to go to the second level or maybe down to the basement, you can break it apart and carry it with ease. And it accepts hook and loop, the Velcro style sanding discs, but they're 7-inch. So that is the standard size that you would use on your edger. And that way you're not having to purchase many different sizes of paper, of abrasives. You're able to use the same ones for the spider and the edger. So less material that you have to carry or purchase. A couple features and benefits here of the machine. It does have a powerful magnetic motor, which provides a maximum delivery of power or less maintenance, I guess you would say. Mentioned before, it has a variable speed of 80 to 400 RPMs, which enables both aggressive and light sanding, depending on what we're trying to provide on the surface. It has very large tires and lightweight, so it's easy to transport up and down stairs, in and out of your vehicle. We do provide it with an additional weight and a single sanding head for if you're braiding with the screen, or you want to apply, let's say, natural oils or your stain, which is very versatile. We can do pretty much everything start to finish with this machine. It comes with a heavy-duty dust skirt, which is an exceptional dust containment. And it's very ergonomic and quiet design, which is less operator fatigue. This is a very big deal. Running a traditional belt sander, you know, can really wear you out. You know, your wrists, your shoulders. It's very tedious. Where with this design, it creates more movement. It is very ergonomical, and you can sand a lot longer and many more days, many more hours in a day with a lot less fatigue. So it's one machine, right, with multiple uses. We can, let's say, resand a pre-finished wood floor. Obviously, your solid wood flooring, you can refinish, or maybe a brand new install. It will do the full sanding of removal and fine sanding. We can get in narrow hallways, under stairs, closets, small areas, you know, maybe around kitchen islands, things that typically you have to use the edger for many square footage. This will take care of that for you. And one of the kind of add-on benefits is the concrete grinding. And you see the picture there of our Ninja plate, which we have 4 different segments, 2 different diamonds, depending on the basically the PSIs of our concrete or what you're trying to achieve. We have an adhesive removing bit and an epoxy coating bit also. So this will prepare any concrete or screed type substrate to get ready to maybe prime or glue down to. So a very versatile machine that we can do sanding from start to finish, but we also can prepare grinding of concrete for our next type of products. Like I said before, either a primer or adhesive to go to. We've had a couple floors where contractors ground the concrete in the basement with this machine, and then we're able to take it upstairs and start sanding the hardwood. So very, very versatile. Spider flat. This is something, just to see a few pictures that what we can achieve. I can guarantee you with this machine, you will achieve the flattest floor possible. You are not going to have drum marks. You're not going to have waves. You know, sometimes maybe if the subfloor is a little wobbly or the hardwood floor is a little loose, when you walk with your traditional belt sanders, there's a chance to create chatter because the machine's bouncing. This machine will not create any of that. No drum marks, no stop-start marks, no chatter. And as mentioned before, with having having to do less edging, especially in hallways, around kitchen islands, where you could possibly get high lows with the edger, the Spider takes care of all of that, and I can guarantee you, you will have the flattest floors that you have ever sanded before with this machine. So how do we get these floors to look like that? Well, the Spider is a machine with capabilities that we haven't had in the hardwood industry before. while this has been very exciting, it did bring some new challenges as well, mainly scratch pattern, okay, because you have a circular machine on your plank wood. So how did we overcome this? We have teamed up with Norton, and I think a lot of you are familiar with Norton abrasives. But what we realized is you're only as good as the on your car, let's say, right? Your car is only as good as the tires that hits the road. Well, this machine is only as good based on the sand or the abrasives that touch the hardwood floor. So we teamed up with the industry leader in the abrasive market with Norton. Their expertise in this field, combined with our Spyder's capabilities, has brought us to this point where we have also partnered with Norton to host sand and finish schools together, where not only do you learn about the PALLMANN machines, the PALLMANN products, but you also get to learn about the Norton abrasives, their products, and the innovation and technology that they also have in their production line. A little productivity. Oh, okay. I apologize. I have an issue here. Let me just do this. There we go. So what we do is we cut the amount of edging by as much as 90%. We are cleaner and a quieter job site. We have the ability to sand or send one person for a job, where you can send them with the Spyder, and they can take care of 90% of their sanding by themselves. We have a smaller footprint in the van. It is a smaller machine that compared to your traditional belt sanders, so we take up less room. We can expand your company by adding another crew member with this type of equipment and a shorter training time. You know, the traditional belt sander can be a little difficult to learn, right? With stop starts or drum marks, where you cannot create those with the Spyder. So it's a lot faster to train maybe a helper or someone new to the industry to be able to sand a floor using this type of machine. We can extend your career due to the ease of operation. There's a lot of us that are older and wish that we had this type of machine when we were contractors, because it definitely would have saved a lot of aches and pains and would be sanding until a lot longer in our careers with less abuse to our body due to its ergonomical design. And then we can definitely take the floors to the next level. So a quick little recap: the evolution of planetary sanding. There's more square footage to be sanded in this tile than a belt or drum sanding, and it's going to change in the next few years. These are going to become more and more popular. It's very versatile. One machine can cover the duties of a lot of the edging. Okay, it can also be used as a buffer and can be used as a concrete grinder. So a very versatile machine. And the performance, it is definitely less fatigue. You get better, flatter results. It's cleaner, it's quieter, and a very long-lasting, low-maintenance design. You're doing a lot of less repairs on this type of machine. So next, we are going to talk about the traditional belt sanders. We do have the PALLMANN Cobra and King Cobra, and sometimes we get asked, how come you guys still have these type of machines if you have the planetary sander like the Spyder? Well, we know there's a lot of contractors out there that are comfortable with what they are sanding with today, and they're used to these type of machines. And then when they do need a new machine, they want to continue using this type of machine. So we have been an industry leader with this type of with these 8 and 10-inch sanding machines, that we also still want to provide to the market out there, to our customers, until maybe someday they're going to become obsolete. But until then, we're going to keep it on the market. So our Cobra is an 8-inch machine, and our King Cobra is the 10-inch, the width of the sanding belts. They do each have a single serpentine belt design that takes away adjustments, where I think you guys know when you're adjusting the motor to get tightness of the one belt for the fan and then one drive belt for the sanding drum disc or sanding drum. Now with one serpentine belt, that takes away the adjustments. It takes everything out of there, very easy to use. We do have a feather handle drum operation where we have the clutch that you can squeeze, or the that you can see maybe in the picture of the feather handles to maybe push for a little extra aggressiveness. But that's what is very easy levers to lift and drop the drum when you stop and start or change directions. It comes with a very powerful 5 horsepower German design motor. It does have an opportunity to have 3 or 4 wheels. It comes with 4 wheels, but I know there's contractors out there that like to have the 3-wheel design where you have one in the back. You can make the change. We give you the option. And it truly does have an industry-leading upper roller assembly. So it's very, very strong, very less maintenance because of how thick the metal of our upper roller is. But definitely the best in the industry, the longest lasting, and the less maintenance out there, which will also give you a very clean, smooth cut with the sanding paper. And then the new legacy design. Well, it's been around, this type of design has been around for a very long time, but we have made some improvements to all the little things I just mentioned. But it definitely has a used and consistent, positive design that has been performing for many years out there in the market. And then we have a new generation machine that you might have seen out there, which is the Cobra 2. And the PALLMANN Cobra 2 is just an 8-inch sanding machine, belt sanding. It does also come with a single serpentine belt, as mentioned before, so it's less stress on adjustment for the motor and the fan. It comes with the same feather handle operation to raise or lower the drum. Also has a 5 horsepower German design motor. As mentioned on the other machine, it comes with 4 wheels, but we give you the option if you want to change it to a 3rd wheel. We know, like I said, a lot of contractors maybe to get in and out and around kitchen islands or tight hallways, maybe some bathrooms that have hardwood that gives you that little extra mobility that you may like. We also have the same industry-leading upper roller assembly. You can see kind of the picture there with the upper roller that they last for many, many years more than a lot of the competition out there. This machine does come with an LED light that has a nice bright LED light that shows the sanding surface in front of you and behind you. So in those situations where the lighting's tough, or the rooms that never have they only have lamps and they don't have the overhead lights and all the furniture is moved out, this gives you the opportunity to fully see the floor while you're sanding. It has an adjustable height handle. So if you're 5'2", 5'8", or 6'4", you can raise or lower the handle for better ergonomical design, an ergonomical design better for your back. You're not hunched over. So we do make that for depending on your height. And it truly is, with this design, it's a next generation belt sander. So for those that still want to continue to use the traditional belt sanders, this is new innovation, new design, new technology that will definitely improve your sanding and your hardwood floors. So quick recap, our territory managers will come to you, okay? So make sure you take advantage of our territory managers and all of their vans. They have these machines. They have the not only our traditional belt sanders, but the spiders, the geckos. So we do want to make sure that you guys try the machines out and that you can use them before you make a purchase, a very large purchase in a machine. The Cobra 2 is the next generation of belt sanders. So it is a new design, new balanced weight. You guys will see it as soon as you start sanding. And a good machine will definitely provide less callbacks. Okay, you're going to get less chatter, less drum marks, and a nice, smoother, quality-looking floor, which we all don't want callbacks, right? And the overall maintenance cost is very low, as mentioned before, with the upper roller assembly, but are very easy to change individual bearings. Bearings are made to wear out. These can be changed very easy, very quickly, very inexpensive. So it will definitely cost you a lot less in the long run for maintenance, or basically, like I said, it's going to be a lot less cost for you in the long run compared to a lot of the competitors' machines. Getting close to the end here, we do have our PALLMANN HEPA vac. It's a vacuum, and then our pre-separator. They are sold in a combo kit. Our HEPA vac is a 1.54 horsepower motor. It does have a 103 CFM, which is basically how vacuums are measured with the amount of suction that comes through the tubes. And it does have an 88.6 water lift pressure. Like I said, it's also kind of a scale on how to measure the efficiency or the strength of a vacuum. With a 22-pound pre-separator. And with that pre-separator, it has 99% particle separation rate. So you can see the little cyclone there on top of our big barrel. That allows the dust to go in a circular motion and fall to the bottom. So very small amount of dust actually goes to the vacuum, which will extend the life of your filters and of course your HEPA filter. And that way your vacuum will last a lot longer, but also continue to have that strong suction. It's that barrel there is a 13.21 gallon capacity. It's quite large, very easy to empty during the job sites. And the vacuum comes with this true HEPA filter design, which we know more and more regulations are requiring the HEPA filter. But just so you guys know out there, with this small system, you can still hook this up to a big machine. There are a lot of vacuums out there that you do not want to hook up to a big machine because of the size of the fibers will clog up the filters. Well, having this pre-separator, you can hook it up to your belt sander, your spider, your edger, your buffer. That way you have a full dustless system. Last is our PALLMANN Turbo Scrubber. We did manufacture here a very powerful deep cleaning and scrubbing machine for all hard surfaces. The Turbo Scrubber is the PALLMANN Turbo Scrubber is the latest addition to the PALLMANN line of maintenance products. It can be used indoors on your hardwood floors, tile, luxury vinyl plank or luxury vinyl tile, as well as outdoors on decks. It works fantastic on cleaning decks to expand your business a little bit. It can be adapted optimally to all surfaces by the exchangeable roller brushes we have that can be used on wood, tile, or other hard surfaces. It's 15-inch wide. Okay, so it does cover a pretty good amount of area. It's a 2.5 horsepower, 115 volt. So I know a lot of you just call it, it's a 110, right? You just plug it into your standard outlet. The vacuum motor is a 0.6 horsepower. So there are two separate motors there. We have the brush motor and the vacuum motor that can run separate, but again, it's one plug-in to just your standard outlet. We have a fresh and then dirty water tank, and they're both 2.5 gallons each. The rotation of the brushes are 1100 RPMs, so very fast, very efficient in the cleaning process. Mentioned before, it's a 115 volt power supply, so just your standard plug-in. And it only weighs 66 pounds, but you can take the fresh tank reservoir off, and it's a little easier to load and unload in your truck or van or up and down stairs on a job site. And the dimensions there, the width, it's 20.5 inches wide. It's a length, width, and height. So the length of the machine is 20, the width is 18.5, and then the height is only 15. So they are in millimeters, so it's a very small, lightweight machine. I do apologize for that, guys. I know I stumbled and fumbled on basically giving you the proper dimensions, but we'll just give you a picture here in a minute that really describes a little bit more about that. It does come with the white brush. It's very soft for wood floors. There it is. And then we have a red brush that is optional to purchase separately for tile, stone, resilient floorings. And a lot of times this works good for decks. There's the machine. Okay, so it's a compact, powerful machine. You can see you can get in tight areas. You can get around kitchen islands. You can even get it into closets, pantries, some bathrooms that have hardwood. So a very compact, but also very powerful. When used with our PALLMANN hardwood floor cleaner or our PALLMANN Clean Strong, either one of the cleaners, it removes the toughest dirt and grime from your hardwood floors, decks, or other hard surfaces. Just a quick little picture here to kind of explain that we can do basically kind of two things with this product. You can do a deep clean where you can see the picture before you got your dirt, grime, and contaminants on top of the finish. And you can use either our Clean Strong and or our PALLMANN Hard to Floor Cleaner, clean the dirt and grime off the floor, and then walk away. You know, you can have contract set up with homeowners, commercial buildings, or restaurants. You come in, you clean, and you walk away. Or we have the recoating option, where before you can see the picture where the finish is a little damaged, where the contaminants, the dirt, grime, rocks have been embedded in there, walked on. This is very especially true for your restaurants or bars, where you take the cleaning machine with our cleaner to take off all the contaminants, and then we can use our chemical bonding agent of our Polyx bond, and then that way you can recoat the floor to fill in that finish. So we give you the option if you want to do a mechanical bond to abrade it and coat, or if you want to use our chemical bond, a Polyx bond. Basically, it's a recoat adhesion product where no dust sanding is required, but you do want to clean the floors to remove those type of contaminants. So we give you the option and are happy to work with you on whatever is suited best and works best for you guys out there. Last but not least, we are social. So please connect with us. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube. We make YouTube videos of all of our products, demonstrating them and showing them. And of course, our website at pallmann.us. And then you have our customer service numbers and our customer service email to email or call us for any questions, concerns, or just you want to learn more about the actual products themselves. And also, we'd like you to sign up for our product updates, where just go to our website of pallmann.us and then click the contact button. And that way, in the bottom, you can sign up your name and email, and you'll receive product updates or other information on maybe future schools or maybe a contest or things like that. So you can get all the information from us by signing up. So we greatly encourage you guys to keep up to date with us, and we would appreciate it. So please take the time and sign up, and you can be informed with all of our information. So that is all for today with the machines, but I know we're going to get here to the questions and answers section. So Josh, if you'd like to take it away.
Yeah, Kelsey, great information there. We really appreciate you going through the entire machine lineup. A few questions that came in, and one of them is in regards to the spider. Is there any issues with using the spider one day to grind concrete and then going ahead and sanding the floor the next day? And I would assume that issues could be contaminants potentially, or potentially vibrations where that could cause some chatter on the floor.
That's a very good question. No, it will not create issues. The one thing that we do recommend is to do a good vacuum around the bottom disc, the bottom plate of the spider, or maybe take it outside to blow it off if you have a compressor after you use it on concrete, because that concrete dust is very fine. And when you use it to sand the hardwood floor, we don't want that concrete dust to get on the hardwood floor and maybe mix in a little bit with the sealers and finishes. So as long as you use the Ninja on the concrete, just clean it, and then you can put the triple disc on and start sanding your hardwood floor. It's not a problem. There are no concerns. We've seen and been on many job sites, like I mentioned before, where a guy has been grinding the basement, contractor's been grinding the basement concrete, and then just took the machine upstairs, vacuumed it up, put the triple disc on, and started sanding the hardwood floor right away. So no concerns at all.
Yeah, and it should be noted that, Wolf Tools, as we mentioned in the beginning part of the presentation, Wolf Tools, their stronghold, or really their forte is building equipment that is meant for the removal of different types of substrates, and certainly grinding concrete and so forth. So the PALLMANN Spider machine, manufactured by Wolf Tools, which is a sister brand of ours, these guys really know what they're doing when it comes to this, and they really kept that in mind when they designed that. So excellent question and answer. Another question then is, we touched on the Pullman HEPA vac, or the Pullman vac and pre-separator. If I'm grinding concrete, does this vacuum meet the OSHA regulations then? And does the machine come with a HEPA filter in it?
Yes, it does meet the very strict OSHA regulations for concrete, because they do require a HEPA filter. And this machine, the vacuum, does come with a very quality HEPA filter in it. And that's where the pre-separator makes a very big difference, where so many of those particulates get into the actual canister and not into the vacuum. So the HEPA filter is going to last longer. It's going to be cleaner, smoother, and a lot safer for the job site and for yourself to breathe it in. So yes, it meets all strict guidelines.
That's great. So essentially, if a contractor would purchase the Pullman Spider and the HEPA vac, not only would they have dust containment for sanding hardwood floors, but they would also have dust containment then for grinding concrete if they should run into a situation where they have to grind concrete.
Absolutely, absolutely, very versatile.
Another question that came up here is on the Gecko Star 2.0, we have adjustable wheels. This is certainly an industry leader, industry design. What keeps those wheels locked in place? I know it's a little hard on the PowerPoint, but what kind of keeps that in place, and how easy is it really to kind of adjust those wheels to get the different pitch?
Very good question. So they do have little notches. So every time that you change a number, there's a click. And so each time that you click it from a number, let's say I like to use 8 on the left and 7 on the right for the very first cut, very aggressive. And so it clicks every time and stays in place. But we also have a little like a nut lock that will screw in and lock it in place. That way, any movement or vibration will not change it. So it does stay in place during your sanding and moving it around. And what's nice is, like I said, 8-7 for the first cut, and then you can stop, unscrew each little lock, click it down. It's nice to have, I like 4 on the left, 3 on the right for your final sanding. Tighten it up, and it really does take 10 seconds to unscrew it, change the dial numbers, put it on, and then you can go from maybe your 40 grit before to now your 80 grit. But that every number is to whatever the person's liking is, but you truly can change them that fast. And actually, I don't recommend this, but for fun, I was on a very tough floor that was needed to be very aggressive, and I was able to have one hand on the machine while I sat there and actually changed the dials of the wheels to get to the adjustment to the height that I like. I didn't have to turn it off every single time to get to the aggressiveness that was required for this floor. So you can do it that way if you'd like. It's that easy. It's that simple.
Yeah, great. Question came in here, sticking on the Gecko Star 2.0. The edger, does it come with 2 extensions? So we had the photo of the Gecko Star 2.0, what we call 2.0R, and is that included with the purchase of the Gecko Star 2.0, or is that a separate separate piece? And kind of walk us through the difference, between the, let's just say the 2.0, which is our standard model, and then of course the 2.0R.
Yeah, with the long nose. I think you guys saw the picture of that. So no, they do not come together. It is the long nose is, and that's just easier to say, guys. The long nose. It's separate for for purchase. The main reason, being a German company, is there's a lot of radiators out there in Europe where it's required for a lot of our contractors to get underneath the radiator that they never could before with other machines. So it comes with its standard size that does get under toe kicks very easily. But let's say like in San Francisco, there's a lot of radiators. We have sold quite a few of the long noses for contractors to get underneath radiators. So it is sold separately. But if you come in those situations that you're using it more than a couple times, it's worth it. Instead of trying to get underneath and hand scrape, or you just can't even sand underneath a radiator or something like that. So it does come separate, but if you feel like you use it more than a few times a year, I'd buy one.
Yeah, and in your personal opinion, and certainly I've talking to contractors and seeing, seeing the Gecko Star 2.0 in action. A lot of this edger itself is really a unique edger on the market. Yes, it has the adjustable wheels, but just the fact that it is a toe kick edger, but still has all the power. So this edger will get under, let's just say 90% of the toe kicks out there, or easy to use in closets or pantries and so forth. And really the beauty is you really don't need another machine. This is one machine because it has a lot of power. And if you could just go over the RPMs and the horsepower again, I think that's just worth noting, that you do not need a separate machine, like some other manufacturers out there.
That's a very good point or question, because when I was a contractor, and with the competitors, I had to buy a separate machine for toe kicks. So I had one machine for edging majority of the floor, and then a separate machine specifically just for toe kicks. So no, this machine with its design, we'll get under. I don't want to say every toe kick, because there's always going to be something goofy, but so far we've seen every toe kick. But also with its design in the middle of a hallway, in the middle of the kitchen, around the kitchen island, it does a very good job in the middle of the floors. It's very smooth, very lightweight. So we can do all sanding of the floor with this machine, with only one machine, not having to have two. And even though it's very light and smaller design, with that high RPM, it's the most powerful machine I've ever seen. But we want to make sure, that's why we have the wheel adjustment. We let the machine do the work. I know some competitor machines, you got to really lean down on it. You got to put your weight on it, maybe depending on what you're getting into. And because of these RPMs, we take that out of the equation. The machine will do its job itself. And if you don't feel it's aggressive enough, you raise the wheels a little bit. Again, it takes just a few seconds, and then it will be aggressive for you. So it's a very versatile machine that can do the whole floor. And with the wheel adjustment, it can be aggressive or very lightweight, very smooth, sorry. But those RPMs are one of the fastest out there, and very high horsepower of any of the machines out there. So it's a very powerful machine compared to the competition.
Yeah, great. And one final note, because we do have another question here on the Spider. With the Gecko Star 2.0, and we'll let you guys compare. I mean, again, it is 2.4 horsepower, as Kelsey mentioned, 4,200 RPMs, and the easily adjustable wheels really allows you to dial in the sanding for each wood species and for each project. So you're truly getting that customized sanding experience, because we do know, as contractors out there, no two wood floors are ever the same. No two wood flooring projects are ever the same. So now you can adjust the sanding with ease. And as Kelsey mentioned, let the machine do the work, not yourself. So
Well, and to that point, Josh, make a very good point, because I think you guys know out there as contractors and distributors, where a lot of floors that you're sanding, you traditionally use the same grit of paper, but it's a much different cutting if you're on, let's say, an American cherry, very soft, or if you're on your standard oak or white oak, and then you get up to maybe your Brazilian cherries or Ipes. And so a lot of contractors are using the same grit paper with the same machine, and you're going to get different cutting on every wood species. So with this ability to be able to lower and raise the wheels for your aggressiveness, you can still use the same grit, but then you're changing the profile and you're making a very big difference. You're going to improve your sanding on all different types of wood species with ease.
yeah. No doubt. So that machine, again, very versatile edger, one edger for a lot of different uses, and powerful enough to sand the entire floor.
Yep.
Kelsey, you're going to switch over to the Spider here. Very, very good question here, and something that does get brought up. And I think this is probably just one thing. If we had a little more time, we could probably spend an hour and a half, 2 hours just talking about the Spider. So
Right.
sometimes we have to kind of skip over a few points. However, very, very good question here. Traditionally with a buffer, we have kind of your heavy or most aggressive points on a buffer at, say, 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. Does the Spider have aggressive spots with it? Is it more aggressive in that 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock position, or like a traditional buffer? Or is it, because of the triple disc and the weight of the machine, is it evenly kind of distributed all the way across? Now I know that, and I've seen it from yourself and you know, certainly RJ Samala, our Rocky Mountain Territory Manager. I've watched you guys, let's say, heal the spider a little bit on some spots, which I know is going to put that in there. But talk to us about just the pressure of the sanding across it and how that compares to, say, a traditional buffer. Good question here.
That's a very good question. Very good point. But I think first, on a traditional buffer, it's very obvious where you have the cutting edge. And so, you know, the top right, a lot of times, and some of them are just 10 to 2, or sorry, noon to 2, noon to 3, you know, the kind of top right corner, maybe the right side. And so it's very aggressive there and not very aggressive on the other side. So there's a big range between aggressive and not aggressive. Okay, but there's a cutting edge. So the spider also has the cutting edge, very similar to a buffer, especially when you're in a buffer style mode where you got the single disc on there, no weight. It still has that cutting edge, but the range is not as big as the standard buffer. So it's still very smooth around the whole disc. So you're not getting as strong on the cutting edge, but you're also not getting as less on the non-cutting edges. So you are getting a more even, smooth cutting in that whole 16 inches than you would on a traditional buffer. So that does create a more even surface, less chances for swirls. Really takes care of any high-low points maybe you have with an edger or parts of the floor. So basically, to really answer the question, it's not as much of a difference compared to a standard buffer. It is more smoother, but we still do have a cutting edge. So you can heal it a little bit on the right side. Let's say you got a pretty good mark. Let's say you've got a pretty good dig that you need to take out. You can heal it. You can really push down the right side. So yes, it does have a cutting edge. It's just more evenly dispersed through the whole machine compared to your standard buffer. I hope that answers that in a kind of a clear way.
Yeah, no, I think it does, and you know, basically due to the weight, and especially when we put the triple disc on there, we, you know, that weight and the sanding pressure is more evenly distributed, is kind of what you're saying, as opposed to just having you know, that broad range of a cutting edge there. So
Correct.
jumping around a little bit, now we're going to go talk just a little bit on the big machines, and you know, specifically the Cobra machine and that design. You know, we have in the PowerPoint there, you said it yourself, it's kind of the legacy design. That design's been around for quite some time. It does have a serpentine belt. You know, again, what does that serpentine belt really provide over, say, a traditional two belt system? You know, and I know that we've enhanced that serpentine belt quite a bit with some different rollers, and also it used to be just available on the Cobra 2, but we've you know, seen the benefits of that. If some, you know, if somebody is still very more or is more comfortable using a traditional belt machine, which we make some very good belt machines, how does that serpentine belt help the contractor?
It really takes the thought process out of the equation, and it takes the tightening aspect out of the equation, which can create a lot of problems. Because I think to your answer your question, when you have two belts, right? You have one belt that goes to the fan that basically turns to suck the wood out, the wood dust out, and then you have the other belt that will drive the drum. And so with two separate belts, you put the motor on, you put the belts on, and then there's a tightening, there's an adjustment. Well, where do you stop? How tight do you get it? And I think that's been a question for years, you know, with contractors, even some of the machine manufacturers when I've talked to them back in the day. When do you stop? How tight do you really get those belts? And so having looser belts will increase chatter, definitely, and maybe just not a smooth cut. And too tight of belts will create very big digs every time you stop and start. It's very hard to feather it down nice and smooth because it just wants to drop. That drum wants to drop. And also with that process, you're stretching the belts. And your belt for your drum, let's say, is stretching more because it's longer, there's more of a length to it compared to your fan belt. So after quite a few usages, your belts are stretched at different rates. All of a sudden, the sanding is just not as smooth, it's not as consistent. The machine just doesn't travel around that hardwood at a consistent route where, like I said, you're going to increase chatter, and it's going to increase your issues of having a flatter floor. So having that single serpentine belt, one of the things I didn't talk about, it's hard to see, is there's a spring-loaded tension on there. So the spring-loaded tension keeps an even tension on that belt. So if you hit a low area or a high area in the hardwood, it will move and keep the proper consistent tension on that belt. So the drum pressure is the same at all times. Okay, so it's gonna be smoother. It's going to last a lot longer because you're not stretching belts at different rates, and it takes the confusion out of how tight do you need to turn that bolt on that motor. You don't have that. You just put the belt on, you click the self tensioner on it. It keeps everything even. It takes the thought process and the confusion out. So it really makes it a lot easier for the contractor, and it does create a nice, smoother, cleaner sanding result. So a very big improvement that's been needed for many years in the industry.
Yeah, no doubt. And to your point, I mean, takes all the guesswork out of it. You know, it takes all the guesswork out of it. It takes the do I need this tool, or oh shoot, we left the toolbox that, you know, that adjusts that wrench in the truck and the other truck. So it really does take the thought process out of it. Well, we have one last question here, and I know we're running just a little bit out of time here, but if there are any last minute questions that you want to type in there, of course, feel free to put them in here. But otherwise, the last question we have is in regards to the turbo scrubber. And the question is really, we touched a little bit on deep cleaning the wood floors with PALLMANN Clean Strong, and also with the PALLMANN hardwood floor cleaner. How important is it, and how important is it really to get into a deep cleaning cycle for, you know, either homeowners or, you know, certainly in a commercial setting? You know, I have some personal opinions, as you know, on the deep cleaning. I'm a big advocate of it, but you know, just walk us through a little bit on, you know, exactly on that graphic, we talk about the contaminants and what do those contaminants actually do to the finish, and just touch just briefly on why it is important to deep clean and how that can enhance a contractor's you know, productivity all the way throughout the job process, maybe add a little profitability as well.
That's a very good question. And I think to your first kind of question that you brought up about how important is it, and then you brought up commercial and residential. At first, I'll touch on commercial. It's extremely important because I think we know a lot of cleaning companies out there, they just use a mop and bucket. And so many times they're just pushing the dirt around. You know, they're not wiping and then you know, extracting enough of that dirt. You know, where they're not cleaning it often enough. And so you're just spreading the dirt around, which I say dirt, but it can be all contaminants. And so when that happens, obviously it's never going to look clean. It's never going to look good. It may create maybe unsafe, slippery conditions based on maybe where you're located and what's on the floor. But what that does, I'll get to that in a second. What does it do? Because to get to the homeowners, it's the same process, right? We have contaminants on the floor, and you need to remove those contaminants. Well, do homeowners really clean their floor enough, often enough? And when they use a microfiber, do they also get to a point, do they change the microfiber, rinse it out enough? Most of the time that we've seen, no, they don't. So they do the same thing as commercial. They start just spreading the dirt around. Okay, they start smearing it around. They smear the contaminants around. It's not truly picking up everything and cleaning the floor. So when you have that on a commercial and or residential, all those contaminants, when you walk on it, you're pushing the stuff into the finish, or you're scuffing your feet, or you're dragging a chair or doing whatever. So having those contaminants will start breaking down the finish. And so when that breaks down the finish, then you're going to see maybe sheen variance. It's going to be very difficult to maybe ever look clean again because of the sheen variance down. In some aspects where that dirt and debris can get pushed into the finish, where it's just always there. Okay, and it always has that very visually that appearance that's just not good visually. Okay, so it just never will get clean, look clean, and it does damage the finish, where you do have to reapply more material at a sooner rate. A properly cleaned floor, easily 7, 10, 15 years, you know, depending on the homeowner. Where if you're not properly cleaning the floor, you may have to recoat every 3, 4 years because you're doing a lot of damage to that finish. So very important to do the deep cleaning and deep scrubbing with these machines, because like mentioned before, no one truly washes their microfibers or cleans their mop and bucket enough, where the deep cleaning with this machine will extract every dirt particle, every contaminant, so you've got a nice, good, clean surface on your floor. And we do recommend, I know it varies a little, but at least maybe once a year for residential. Could be every 6 months if they're homeowners that have a couple kids, couple dogs, they don't take their shoes off. And that's very good business for contractors to get into that I think has been a missing aspect for many years. And I know, Josh, you are, you have your voice on how important cleaning is from your past. But when I was a contractor, I did actually purchase a cleaning machine because I had a lot of situations where homeowners were not getting their floor cleaned, and they just, like I mentioned before, dirt's pushed in there, grime's pushed in there, microfiber's not getting it. And I actually had a very good side of my sand and finish install business of doing cleanings, where it's very easy. You show up, you maybe move some chairs and a few area rugs. You don't move the big furniture. You run your scrubbing machine, the floor looks brand new. They're happy. They pay you a few $100s. You make very good money for very easy labor, let's say, in a very quick process. And then you can get on consistent schedules. And I had a few homeowners with very expensive, nice pre-finished floors that I'd go in there either quarterly or biannually every 6 months and deep clean their floor. And it made a huge difference. It was, like I said, a good part of my business. And I think more and more contractors need to look at that avenue because you can pay off that machine very quickly. Within a few months, doing a couple cleanings, it's paid off. And then you're just making profit on it. So it's very important to the life of the floor. It's very important for the visual aspects of the floor. And it's very important because contractors, you can make more money doing this very easily. No sand, no dust, no debris. You're in there cleaning. It smells good. It smells fresh. And homeowners are happy. And even your commercial businesses are happy because the floor looks brand new. So it's kind of an untapped market that we don't see enough, I think, and you don't either see enough contractors cleaning floors for on a regular basis for good money.
Yeah, no, absolutely correct on that. Well, folks, we have exceeded our time limit here just a little bit, and I do apologize. I know I said last question, but this question just popped in, and I think it's very, very important to clarify on the spider. The question was, how would we incorporate the big machine or the belt machine with the spider, using the spider for edging and so forth? And I'm going to just jump ahead just a little bit. I mean, in reality, I think it's very, very important to understand that you can use the PALLMANN spider machine for the job site for sanding a floor start to finish. Is that correct, Kelsey?
Absolutely. From initial cut, rough cut to fine sanding, it can do a job start to finish. That is correct.
Yep, and so just really want to make sure that we stress that point that the PALLMANN Spider is truly, it is a sanding machine. It's not just a buffer. It is not just a machine that can be used for final sanding. You can use it from start to finish on the job site, and we would highly encourage you to talk with one of our local PALLMANN territory managers to get that out onto the job site, to get them out on a job site, get them working with you. Of course, we're going to practice all the safe practices right now in regards to wearing face masks on job sites, social distancing, and we'd be more than happy to come out onto a job site and work with you guys as we kind of move forward with any of this equipment. So with that, we are going to
question. Was the question about how incorporating a big machine and a spider on the same job site, or how was the question phrased?
Yeah, no, the question really was, and I just wanted to kind of end with that, Kelsey, was just, making sure that the question was, how would we incorporate the big machine along with the spider? And really just might want to make sure that we stress the point that, one, you could use the big machine first to do any type of rough cutting and then bring in the spider, or you could leave the big machine or belt sander in the van and bring the PALLMANN spider, just out off the job site. To your point that you brought up, one person can go out and do these small jobs and complete them start to finish.
And that's where, just real quick, I know I'm sorry out of time, but that's where I mentioned earlier about having maybe another member of your crew. It's very easy to train on the spider. So if you're in a job site that you're using your traditional belt sander, that you can have a helper or someone new to the industry. It's very quick and easy to train on the spider. You can send them to the next job. So they're on a separate job sanding. You're all of a sudden sanding 2 floors with confidence compared to just doing one that you typically did. So.
Yeah, exactly. Good point. Well, folks, that's all the time we have today. Thank you for joining us on this PALLMANN webinar series where we discussed our machines. You can check out a recording of this if you want to share this webinar with any of your fellow employees, fellow colleagues, fellow industry members. This will be available on on our website, us.pallmann.net. That'll be available starting tomorrow. And additionally, as Kelsey mentioned, we highly encourage you to follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, sign up for our e-news letter, and certainly we thank you very much for your time, and we hope everybody is going to stay safe. From my side, wish everybody the best, and thank you again. Kelsey, any last thoughts before we close
No,
this thing out?
just like to say thank you for everyone attending, and when they watch this video, we appreciate the support. And if you have questions or concerns, please contact us, contact our territory managers. That's their job, is to work with you guys. So please take advantage of our customer service.
Thanks again, guys. Have a great day.